For the last time, at least in the group stage, we're gonna run through all the results and the final standings so you know who's in and who's out of the Champions League. My name is Adrian from Rabona TV. Hello, welcome, how you doing? And if you like videos like this, why not consider subscribing to help the channel out, alright? Let's get it. Let's do this alphabetically. And in Group A, history was made because Benfica became the first team in Champions League history to go from pot 1 to 0 points at the very bottom of their group. Yes, this is a former champion of their respective country not picking up a single point from 6 matches. By the way, if you haven't clued in yet as to why I'm frustrated by this, well, guess who I support? And they only managed to score 1 goal, which was on the first match day. Look, I've spoken enough about Benfica and their shortcomings all season long, and there isn't much else to say, really, besides that this is simply embarrassing, and I cannot believe that Mohamed El Younousi would betray me like that and score against my Benfica. Come on, dog, I thought we were closer than that. Career mode watchers, you know what I'm saying, right? Hey. But seriously, let's give it up for Basel as they advanced to the final 16, and I thought they were going to be dead, but it turns out we were actually the dead ones. And we picked up a crazy, pretty much unbeatable record that nobody would want to have. I will say though that it is a little bit unlucky on Benfica's part as Basel attacked maybe 3 times and scored twice, so c'est la vie. But you also got to make your luck at some point, and United did just that as they came back from a 1-goal deficit. But mind you, that goal was scored at a pretty crucial time right before the half. But they managed to turn around in the second half, and respect to Luke Shaw, who looked pretty decent in this game. That was his first United start in 219 days. But it begs the question, can he really be relied upon with his incessant injuries and somewhat shaky form? Probably not. Oh, and respect to Romelu Lukaku, who scored his 2nd goal in a 13-match run, which was assisted beautifully by Paul Pogba, which was his 6th assist in 12 matches this season, whereas last season he played in 51 matches and assisted the same amount. So it's safe to say he's on track to having a better season than last. And finally, United are unbeaten in their last 40 matches at home, and they've never had a run longer than that, and that's across all competitions, of course. So United are in first with Basel right behind them, CSKA Moscow dropping down into the Europa League, and Benfica falling off the face of the planet. So I suggest that we just look at the UEFA Youth Champions League and accept that table as our reality. I mean, it could be better, but I'll take it. Benfica in Europa League! Yes. So Group B, and wow, I just want to give a big no thanks to Anderlecht for getting a win, picking up some points, and leaving the Benfica 0 points club. The pointless club. They beat Celtic 1-0 away, but it wasn't enough to get them into the Europa League as their goal difference sits at -15 while Celtic's is at -13. But Celtic's entry into the Europa League is pretty much the equivalent of tripping and falling on your face as you cross the finish line. Oh, and another team that kind of did that. Going into this, PSG had the opportunity to become just the 6th team in Champions League history to win all 6 of their group stage matches. And it seemed likely until Lewandowski scored, taking his tally to 52 goals in 51 games in 2017, 43 in 66 appearances in the Champions League, and while we're on the topic of goals, Mbappe cut the 2-0 deficit in the 50th minute, becoming the youngest player to score 10 Champions League goals at just 18 years and 11 months. 2 years younger than the second youngest player to do it, Karim Benzema, at 20 years and 10 months. So PSG will be annoyed that they missed out on winning all 6 of their matches and that they let Bayern catch them on points, but since they have a superior goal difference of +21, they still sit at the top of the table, so they'll be in pot 1. Bayern will be in pot 2 as they're in 2nd. Celtic will go down into the Europa League, and Anderlecht, well, they're in the Benfica position. Sorry, I'll try to stop ragging on Benfica. Group C! And if you're a fan of Chelsea... Okay, Adrian, enough of the Ronaldo C's. You're probably a little bit disappointed in your team, Chelsea, in that they couldn't do the business and finish at the top of their group and get into the more favorable pot 1. And considering they were playing Atletico at home, it was never going to be easy, but Atletico's away form, in the goals department at least, hasn't been great. In fact, Saúl Ñíguez's back post headed goal was their first goal away from home in the Champions League in over 390 minutes of football. The last time they scored on the road in the Champions League was thanks to Saúl as well, when he scored against Leicester in April. Regardless, it wasn't enough for them to advance with just a draw, as this was the first time they've been knocked out of the Champions League group stage since the 2009-2010 season. In that season, they also got sent to the Europa League, and they won the damn thing. That was a pretty dope team that they had back then. Diego Forlán, Sergio Aguero, Simon Sabrosa, Jose Antonio Reyes, David De Gea. But anyways, they'll be one of the favorites to win it all again, especially when Diego Costa links up with them in the January transfer window. In the other match, Roma won 1-0 against Karabag, thanks to a Perotti goal from 0.1 centimeters from the goal, meaning Roma will take the top spot thanks to head-to-head against Chelsea. So Roma's in pot 1, Chelsea's in pot 2, Atletico's dropping down to the Europa League, and Karabag is at the bottom with 2 points. Yes, Karabag was able to get 2 points in this group with Chelsea, Atletico, and Roma, a little team from Azerbaijan. Group D, Group Dull. This one went exactly to plan. I feel like this is exactly how I predicted it would go in my Champions League prediction video, but I mean, we'll find out very soon when I do my reaction to that prediction video. But anyways, Barca won 2-0 at home against Sporting, and they had already clinched the top spot. In fact, this was the 11th consecutive season in which they clinched the top spot in their Champions League group, something that's never been done before in the Champions League. And they couldn't have done it without the help of their second highest goal scorer this season, Mr. Own Goal. In case you're interested, their top scorers this season goes as follows: Messi on 17 goals, Own Goal on 6, and Luis Suarez also on 6. Keep it up, Own Goal, keep believing in yourself, and you might catch Messi soon. In the other match, Juventus defeated Olympiacos 2-0, meaning they've reached the knockout stages for the 4th time in the last 4 consecutive seasons. Paulo Dybala didn't score, and I'm not just saying that to be an asshole, I'm saying that because it's surprising. He's had the most shots of all the players that haven't scored a goal. So to recap, Barcelona will be in pot 1 for the draw, Juventus will be in pot 2, Sporting's going to drop down into the Europa League, and I wouldn't sleep on them in the Europa League. I like their chances, they could pull it off. But then again, Jorge Jesus is probably really wanting to get them that Portuguese title and might focus on that a little bit more than the Europa League. Group E, aka Welcome to Beatdown City. Population, Spartak. Damn, Liverpool really slammed it this time as they got their second 7-0 result of this group stage, as everyone in their formidable attack got in on the action. Coutinho scored his first ever hat-trick for Liverpool, as well as Liverpool's fastest ever goal at Anfield in the Champions League, taking his goals involvement to 13 in his last 10 matches. Firmino took his tally to 6, the most a Liverpool player has ever scored in the group stage. Salah took his count to 18 on the season across all competitions, more than any other Premier League player, and Liverpool set a new record for goals scored by an English team in the group stage with 23. You get all that? Good. I hope you paid attention, because you don't really need to pay attention for the other match in this group, as Sevilla tied Maribor 1-1. But that tie does mean that Maribor managed to get 3 points in this group. A group with Liverpool, Sevilla, and Spartak. Wow. So the final standings look like this, with Liverpool in first place. They're going to be in pot 1. Sevilla's going to be in pot 2 as they got second, and Spartak's going down to the Europa League. We're going down, 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 down. Group F, breaking news, people. Manchester City can be defeated when they field their B team against the Shakhtar side that still had some business to wrap up in the group, and Manchester City was thinking about the Manchester Derby on the weekend and had already wrapped up the top spot. By the way, that was Pep Guardiola's 100th match in the Champions League. His winning percentage sits at 61, with his team scoring 235 goals, conceding 98, and winning 2 titles along the way. But back to the result. This ensured that Shakhtar made it through with 12 points. Not that they needed to make sure of it though, considering Napoli lost to poor Feyenoord 2-1. That was their first batch of points, as they too left the Benfica club thanks to a 91st minute Saint Just header. No, I'm not calling him a saint, that's just his name. So City will be in pot 1, while Shakhtar take the second place and will be in the 2, and Napoli are dropping down into the Europa League. That right there is a top contender for you. Although, again, I think that they would prioritize the Serie A over the Europa League. Group nothing but a G thing, baby. Besiktas went so crazy. Actually, they went undefeated, actually. They didn't go crazy, as they won once again, this time against RB Leipzig. They actually did the double over RB Leipzig in this Champions League group stage. Meaning, Besiktas finished first place in this tricky group with a 4-point lead to boot over FC Porto, who defeated a terrible Monaco side. God, what is wrong with these guys? What happened? You were so good last season. You were one of the funnest teams to watch. Now, you're getting 2 points? God, you guys look so good. And then, well, I mean, you sold pretty much all of your team, and we all know how hard it is to bring in a whole bunch of new players and expect them to gel right away, just as AC Milan. But still, 2 points? that means that they're chilling on the bottom, with RB Leipzig dropping into the Europa League. And FC Porto, they got the pot 2 spot in 2 place, 2nd place. And Besiktas, come on. Give it up for Besiktas, because they made history, people. If you forgot already, I said it in my last video, they are the first ever Turkish side to get 1st place in a Champions League group. And it's the first time that the Black Eagles have ever advanced to the knockout stages, so... yes. And speaking of making history, that's kind of just what Cristiano Ronaldo does. And I'm not even fanboying right now. The dude breaks a lot of records. And he broke another one today. Well, yesterday now. As he became the first player in Champions League history to score in every single one of the Champions League group stage matches. He's sitting on 9 goals and 1 assist from a group that had Borussia Dortmund and Tottenham in it. So I never would have predicted he'd get this many goals in this group stage. But it just so happens that Borussia Dortmund is not the team that they have been in the past few seasons. Pair that with Ronaldo's relative futility in La Liga, and you get a big, huh? But then again, I guess it is Cristiano Ronaldo, so there's not a real, huh? About him scoring goals. Anyway, Real Madrid handed Borussia Dortmund another L, and I mean, the pressure has gotta be on Peter Bosz by now, if it wasn't already. Hashtag make it stop. Tottenham won their match as well, meaning that they finished the group stage with a perfect record, and this also means that every single English side made it out of their group. Hey, good job, England. Borussia Dortmund limped their way into the Europa League, but you know what that means. Here's another Europa League winning content. Nah, I'm joking. They're probably not going to win the Europa League, unless they just decide, f it to the Bundesliga and go all in on the Europa League. But under Peter Bosz, I can't see them beating anyone right now. Which is a shame, because I think everyone has a little bit of a soft spot for Borussia Dortmund, you know? You want to see them doing well. You don't want to see them suffering. They haven't won since like 2014 or something. Is that the correct stat? Nope. But point being, it's been a long time since they've won a match, and they really need to just do that. Last time they won in the Bundesliga was in September.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer every night.
And that will do it for this video, everybody. Hey, how did your team do? I hope they did pretty well. I hope you're doing pretty well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for my Champions League prediction reaction video to see just how much I f***ed up. Probably a lot. Maribor getting out of the group stage, anyone? Hey, you gotta keep it interesting, right? All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.